Good afternoon. Hi, folks. Phil McPhail here with United Country Lifestyle Properties of Maine. If you've been searching for an off-grid piece of property, a large tract in the woods of Maine, you know how hard that's been to do lately to find a really nice piece. Well, come along with me today. We're going to look at a piece just over 20 acres with frontage on both sides of this road here I'm standing in now. The beautiful piece of property. And just so you know, in case you're watching this and this is the first time you've ever been to our channel, that whole YouTube feed doesn't do very well as far as updating people. So I don't know when you're looking at this video. It could have sold. You could be looking at it a week after the property has come online, a month, or even a year or more. Today is the beginning of the third week of October of 2024. In case you're watching, you'll know when this video was shot. So that reminds me, if you're new to the channel, don't forget, hit that subscription button down below. If you're looking for a piece of real estate and want to follow our channel to make sure you don't miss the next video on a property when it comes on the market, as soon as it comes on the market, not only should you subscribe, but also turn on all notifications. That way, the minute that video hits the YouTube channel, you'll know about it. So we're located here on what's called Webb Cove Drive in the town of Lowell. Lowell is a real rural town here in central Penobscot County of about 350 people. We are located out here in the woods, but we're pretty close to a lot of things for services. Lincoln, which was the nearest town around here of any size, is about 11 miles north of us. It's got a hospital, it's got restaurants and shopping centers and everything you can need for everyday living, from building supplies to all professional services. The city of Bangor, 41 miles to our south, that's about a 45-minute ride. Most of that is on I-95 from the Howland exit 217 to this property. Takes you less than an hour. Portland, Maine's largest city, 171 miles, 2.5 hours drive, and Boston is about 276 miles, and that's about a 4-hour and 35-minute ride from this location. So come along, we're gonna go for a walk. And one of the most interesting parts of this property, or one of them, is the fact that it has land on both sides of Webb Cove Drive. Webb Cove Drive is a private gravel road maintained by a road association. The dues here, if you buy this property, are currently $400 a year. That includes grading and plowing and maintenance. So it's a very well-established road, as you can see, great gravel road. We're in here about 3 miles from the paved town road. So you got a little bit of privacy here, but you're still close to services. So like I said, we got land on both sides of the road. First, we're gonna go over here on the west side. And this side is a lot of hardwoods, beautiful land. Then we'll come back and we're gonna go over on the east side of the road where we get more softwood. We've got a stream that runs through a portion of the property that's an outlet to Trout Pond, which is just southeast of us here a little bit. Kind of interesting the way this is laid out. If you wanted to purchase this and later gift it to a relative, or maybe sell off a portion, one side of the road or the other, the fact that this road divides it makes it real easy to split it into 2 parcels. So keep that in mind from an investment point of view. Really nice feature. All right, so we're gonna head in here on the west side of the road. And as we walk in, we'll talk a little bit about the soils in here. You know, there's a lot of elevation change here. We'll get to that later, but the soils are reported to be about 50% placed loams. And most of those are here on the side of the road. And as we walk in here, what you're gonna see is a lot of hardwood trees. We've got sugar maple, a lot of that. We've got white birch. We've got some yellow birches in here. Just a beautiful piece of property. And right here next to the road, the land, although it does have a lot of elevation change, is pretty level right here on this part of it. As we walk in further, we'll stop and take a look at some of the tree growth in here. But this is a pretty piece of property. Plenty of firewood in here for your own personal use. If you wanted to come in here and farm some of this, maybe do a little homesteading, I think, you know, you pick your right spot and move, kind of watch where the rocks are. Might be a nice piece of land to have a few garden plots wherever you can find an area without too many rocks. As we continue to walk through here, I wanted to just point out we just came into a nice stand of some older growth, hemlock, and a few big hardwoods in here. And the elevations here are gonna run from about 240 feet down near the outlet of Trout Pond to about 370 feet up here on this west side up on the hill here. And we're starting to come uphill. And the other thing I wanted to point out, folks, is what a pleasure it is to walk through the woods here. You got very little underbrush. I mean, there's some here and there, but overall, it's just really easy to walk through. And for those who really don't like to look at land that's had recent timber harvesting, I don't believe there's been a chainsaw on this land for probably 30 or more years. There's some stumps here. They're like this one right here to my right. I don't know if that was a harvested tree or one that blew over, but I'd say it's cut from the looks of it. But yeah, it's just really a pleasure to walk through here. We got some big beech, some big maples in here. You know, from a firewood point of view, for your own personal use, you'd never run out. You could just cut down the dead and dying trees and you'd never run out of firewood to heat your home. We're gonna keep walking up here. The town line is our west boundary of this property. We're gonna see if we can locate that today. Well, what's often the case up here in the woods of Maine, the town line has not been run very well and probably a long time. Towns are supposed to keep them up, but they don't always do that. Most of them don't. So we didn't find any boundary evidence over here on the west side. So we're gonna head back over. We're gonna at least get you down to see the outlet of Trout Brook or Trout Pond, and we'll pick you up over on the other side of the road. All right, we're back out here on Webb Cove Drive, and before we head over on the east side of the road, I want to tell you a little bit about this location and other things of interest in the area. We are just over here on the east side of what's called Coldstream Pond. Don't let that fool you, folks. It's a big lake, 3,600 acre lake, over 100 feet deep, crystal clear water, landlocked salmon fishing, great fishing for lake trout, which we call togue up here in Maine, if you've heard that term. Put it in the comments down below. Who's ever heard a lake trout called a togue? Mostly people from Maine. So what else is around here? The Penobscot River. Well, actually, Coldstream Pond's boat landing 4 miles from this lot. The public beach, 5.5 miles. So it's a 5-10 minute ride over there, launch your boat, go for a swim at the public beach. Boat landing on the Penobscot River in Howland's about 8 miles from here. If you're not familiar with the Penobscot, it's a beautiful river. That boat landing will accommodate a power boat or paddle boats, whatever you want to launch there. Some beautiful scenery, lots of bald eagles, and probably the best smallmouth bass fishing in the Northeast. And I don't say that lightly, and I'm sure there's somebody out there will argue with me in the comments. Feel free, tell me where it's better. And what else? If you're not into outdoors or fishing, city of Bangor, less than an hour. You can catch the casino down there. You can go to Waterfront Concert Series, or you could head over to the University of Maine in Orono, which is a little over a half-hour's drive from here. Maine's largest university campus, Division I sports, go Black Bears. So give us a call. If you got any questions about the area, I'd be happy to answer them for you. So let's jump over here on the east side of the road and take a look at this property. All right, we're over here on the east side of Webb Cove Drive now on the 20 acres. And what we're seeing here there's some hardwood, but this is more softwood over here. We're seeing more and more hemlocks. You know, there's some nice birch and maples scattered in them, but it's a little denser over here, more undergrowth. This would be a great place if you like hunting or watching game, to be over here. A little more cover for the animals here. Good place for a tree stand if you're a hunter. Pretty cool. And again, what we're seeing is stumps that are probably 40, I'm guessing that's a 40-year-old stump, or pretty close to it, okay? And I cheat a little bit because I've been in this business forever, and I remember when the harvest was done over here before any of this part of the lake was developed, and that was about 40 years ago, roughly. So we're gonna pick our way through this thick forest, folks. We're gonna go over and try to show you the wetlands and the stream that run through the far east side of this lot. We've made it back to the outlet here on the east side of the property here on Webb Cove Drive, and I'm whispering because we can see a game trail beaten down along the edge of this brook. This brook is a very slow moving brook. It eventually runs into Coldstream Pond, the big lake flowing out of Trout Pond. This isn't a great fishing spot, folks. This is just a natural feature that's a game magnet. I'm looking at raccoon tracks, some beaver sign in here. We've got deer and moose tracks. We've got a little bit of everything. Coming here to get a drink out of this little brook. Beautiful little spot. On the other side of the brook, the land keeps going. You know, could you bridge this land? Yeah, you probably could. Would you want to? Probably not. Probably put yourself a pair of hip waders on, hunt across the other side. It's kind of a wilderness spot over there where very few people can access without crossing this little brook. So that kind of shows you the water feature on this property. Again, it's not a great fishing spot. Is it a game magnet? Absolutely. Thanks for coming on this tour of this 20.66 plus or minus acre lot here in the town of Lowell on Webb Cove Drive. If you're looking up this property online, we're referring to this as M8L15. That's the town's tax map and lot number, Webb Cove Drive. There is no street number here, and there won't be until you actually build something. So let's wrap it up. We got an asking price on this property of $59,900. The taxes here are $377 for the year, and this property is not in the tree growth tax program, in case you're wondering. We've got about 320 feet roughly here along Webb Cove Drive, both sides of the road. Off-grid, there's no power here for almost a mile. We've got the stream running through the back of the property, some beautiful timber scattered all over this property. So no matter you're looking for a place for your hunting camp, your off-grid getaway, maybe an off-grid homestead property, whatever you're looking to do, you can probably do it here. Give me a call, 207-290-0372. Thanks.